What we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposé coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge.
In a world swelling with chaos, where the ground seems to shift beneath our feet, it's easy to feel lost and overwhelmed. But amidst the turmoil, there's a beacon of strength, a path to a brighter tomorrow. This year, the 5F conference is back, bigger and better. Join us from Friday, October 4 to Sunday, October 6 for 3 days of transformative power. Experience inspiring sessions with renowned speakers like Reverend Tony Akinyemi, Reverend Hakeem Ogunira, Sawole Abayomi, and Reverend Bayo Asolo. Don't miss out on this life-changing event. Register now at 5fconference.tsfchurch.com and be part of something extraordinary.
Hello and welcome. This is Exposé with Tony Akinyemi, brought to you every Monday evening, 8 p.m. West African time, on both YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. I'm your regular host, and my name is Tony Akinyemi. Your health as it relates to your food, that's what we're talking about. So our theme for this season is your food and your health. And we have looked at individual vegetables and foods that, we consume on a regular basis and the health potentials that they hold for us. Last week, we concluded with cruciferous vegetables. That's cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts, and what have you. Today, we're going to move on to the category of seeds. Seeds can also hold a very powerful solution to many of our health challenges. They can offer disease prevention. They can also help in reversing disease conditions. As a matter of fact, I know a particular company that built all their products, almost virtually all their products around seed nutrition. Seed nutrition. The company is Rain, R-A-I-N. They have products like Rain Soul, like Rain Soul Red. They have Rain Bend, and many other fantastic products. And virtually all those products are based on seed nutrition, because seeds can offer excellent nutrients to the human body. So I'll be talking about two particular seeds today, if time permits. All right? If we can't finish today, we can always continue next week. Then let's start off and see how far we can go. So the first seed I want to talk about today is called flaxseed. Flaxseed. It's known as flaxseed in North America, but in the UK, it is known as linseed. L-I-N-S-E-E-D. Linseed. It's the same thing. Flaxseed or linseed. Now, flaxseed may help to lower total cholesterol as well as LDL cholesterol levels when you consume it regularly. Of course, flaxseed has a very hard shell on the outside, such that if you just consume it directly like that without crushing it first, you may not be able to digest it. You may just poo-poo it exactly the same way you ate it. So before you consume flaxseed, it's either you soak it or you grind it dry and then mix it into whatever you're mixing it into. Ground flaxseed. That's the best way to consume flaxseed. All right. Now, flax seeds may also help to lower triglyceride levels as well as blood pressure. So those who are dealing with hypertension, that's a very good seed for you to incorporate into your diet. Flax seed. Now, Hallelujah Acres has a product that is called B-Flax-D. B dash, that's letter B, alphabet D, dash, flax, F-L-A-X, then dash, then letter D, B-Flax-D. Now, it's ground flaxseed that has been infused with vitamin B12 and vitamin D. That's why they call it B-Flax-D. Another wonderful product there. You cannot just take a scoop, 1 or 2 tablespoonfuls, and mix it into your smoothie every day. And you're going to be enjoying all the benefits that flaxseed provides. Okay, now flaxseed may help to also keep your platelets from becoming sticky. You know, when platelets stick together, blood clots form, thrombosis, okay? But when you consume flaxseed, it has a way of helping your platelets not to become sticky. Therefore, that can help to reduce the risk of heart attacks. That's another wonderful benefit that we derive there from flaxseed. Now, again today, let me wear my blue light blocking glasses, as I always encourage you to do. Because where I am in the studio, a lot of lights facing me. So when I wear this, it helps blue light not to penetrate into my eyes. Okay, so as I was saying, when you consume flaxseed regularly, it can help your platelets not to become sticky. So that can help you to reduce your risk of myocardial infarction. That's a fanciful medical term for heart attack. All right. Now, flax seeds also contain a particular substance known as lignan, L-I-G-N-A-N, lignan. Now, lignan metabolites can actually bind to estrogen receptors in the body. And this can help to prevent the onset of estrogen-stimulated breast cancer in women, for example. Now, in some past episodes of Exposé, I have already explained what receptors are. Now, imagine as a layman, I am a layman just like some of you are. Now, imagine a receptor as a socket, your electrical socket on your wall. That is a socket you can plug different kinds of devices into the same socket, okay? You can plug your fan, for example, your standing fan or table fan to that electrical socket. You can plug your iPad, your laptop to that electrical socket. You can plug your phone. You can plug your television set. You can plug different kinds of devices into that same socket. Now, receptors in the human body, various organs, glands, and tissues in our bodies have their own receptors, okay? And the receptors are where different substances connect to. They bind to them. It's called binding. That plugging in is called binding, okay? So there are certain receptors on cells that are estrogen receptors. In other words, estrogen looks for such receptors and binds to them. Estrogen is usually plugged into those specific type of sockets. They are called estrogen receptors. They are abundant. Estrogen receptors are abundant in the breasts of women. They are abundant in the womb, in the uterus, okay? And so when too much estrogen binds to the receptors in the womb, for example, it can stimulate the womb to start growing fibroids. And there are certain cancerous tumors too that can grow in female, organs and glands, like the breasts, like the uterus, okay, that are estrogen positive or estrogen stimulated, okay? So the lignan that is present in flaxseed also binds to the same receptors that estrogen binds to. So let me give an illustration. Let's assume that there are 100 estrogen receptors in one breast of a woman, okay? And the amount of estrogen that should be present in the breast of that woman per time should not be more than 50 units. I'm just using arbitrary numbers, okay? Let's assume that there are 100 sockets, but the amount of estrogen that should be present should not be more than 50 units. And one unit will connect or plug into one socket. And there are 100 sockets. If all the 100 sockets are empty, available, then estrogen can plug to all the 100. In that case, there will now be 100 units of estrogen present in the breast. And that will be too much. That heavy amount of estrogen present in the breast can now stimulate the breast to develop breast cancer. Estrogen-stimulated breast cancer. Similarly, in the womb, if there are 100 sockets, estrogen receptors, and all the 100 are vacant, and estrogen should bind to all the 100, then there will be too much concentration of estrogen in the womb, and that will stimulate the womb to start developing uterine fibroid. Okay? Now, but if you want to reduce the amount of estrogen that is present either in the breast or in the womb, you can then let some other items bind to some of the estrogen receptors, some of the sockets. 100 of them. If you eat a lot of flaxseed, the lignan metabolites in the flaxseed binds to the same receptor, the same socket that estrogen binds to. So those lignans can occupy, let's say, 50 sockets. That now makes only 50 sockets available for estrogen. That's an indirect way of reducing the amount of estrogen present in the breast or present in the womb per time, because now there are competitors that are struggling to occupy some of the receptors. So once certain substances have competed with estrogen and occupied some of those sockets, indirectly that limits the amount of estrogen that will be present in the breast or in the womb. And so that small amount of estrogen will just be harmless and it will do its job, okay? Now, there are other things that also bind to estrogen receptors, apart from the lignan we find in flaxseed. Now, iodine also binds to the same receptor, by the way. Iodine, which is a mineral, a trace mineral that we all need in our diet. And when a woman is iodine deficient, then that means that a number of sockets that iodine should have plugged into, a number of receptors that iodine should have bound to, will now be vacant and available. Then estrogen will just simply be binding to all of them. And before you know it, there's a high concentration of estrogen in those locations. And that high concentration of estrogen can start stimulating some things. And before you know it, all kinds of things can begin to happen. So you can see how it's important for us to eat foods that are high in lignan on the one hand, and foods that are rich in iodine. We're going to come to those foods that are rich in iodine some other time. You know, sea vegetables in particular, things like chlorella, things like spirulina, things like blue-green algae, and things like modifilan, brown seaweed, you know, kelp. All of those are sea vegetables that are high in iodine. So they furnish your body when you consume them with a lot of iodine, and those iodine molecules will now bind to estrogen receptors, thereby reducing the amount of estrogen present in those glands and those locations so that they don't stimulate something else. Okay. Now, so when you are buying your flaxseed oil, which is one of the products that are made from flaxseed, for example, you will notice that flaxseed oil products in the market, some of them have written on them high lignan flaxseed oil. So all flaxseed oils are not the same. When you buy a bottle of flaxseed oil that just says flaxseed oil, you buy another one, it says organic flaxseed oil. You buy another one, it says high lignan flaxseed oil. There are three different things. So when you're buying your flaxseed oil, I encourage you to buy the ones that is high in lignan, because the lignan metabolites can bind to estrogen receptors in the womb, in the breast, in the ovaries, okay? And that can help to prevent the onset of estrogen-stimulated cancers of the breast, of the ovaries, of the womb, and what have you. Very, very important. Now, the ones that says organic flaxseed oil means that the flaxseed that they used in making that oil, from where that oil was extracted, is organic flaxseed. They didn't grow it with herbicides or pesticides or chemicals of any sort. So it's free of chemicals. The one that doesn't say organic may have been grown with chemicals, okay? And then the one that says high lignan has actually been tested to see the amount of lignan that is present in that flaxseed oil as very high. Of course, when you take whole flaxseed and you grind it in your dry blender, in Nigeria, we first of all grind our egusi. I don't know what they call that elsewhere. We call it egusi in Nigeria. It's a kind of melon seed, all right? It's a special type of melon in Nigeria. The seeds of the melon, we actually grind it. We use it to make our soup in Nigeria, okay? Vegetable soup, egusi soup, all kinds of things like that. Now, the same blender you use to grind your egusi dry without adding water to it, that's the same blender you use to grind or to blend your flaxseed without adding water. You grind it, and I prefer that you grind your flaxseed same day as you want to use it. Grind it, blend it in your dry blender, fresh like that, and then add it as part of the ingredients you're going to use to make your smoothie, okay? Don't blend your flaxseed and then keep it in the jar and keep on the shelf because it can go rancid because of the fat that is inside, the oil that is inside. The oil can go rancid as it's exposed to oxygen. So when you mill it fresh, that's when you have the highest potency. Okay, now those that have been ground before they are packaged actually have some kind of antioxidants added to them so that they don't oxidize. All right, so now flax seeds are also high in fiber and they can help your regularity and your bowel movement. So when you take a lot of flaxseed, you are not likely going to get constipated. When you go to the toilet, you don't have to strain before you can poo-poo. Okay, it just comes out that easily. We call it worowo in my language. It will just come out worowo, just easily like that, without straining. Now, flaxseed is also rich in omega-3 oil, and that omega-3 oil in flaxseed possesses anti-angiogenic properties. Okay, that makes it very, very useful, highly useful, particularly for those who have tumors in their bodies, whether it is malignant tumors or benign tumors. Now, so I will explain what anti-angiogenic properties mean when we come back from this short break. Don't go away. I'll be back very shortly.
In a world swelling with chaos, where the ground seems to shift beneath our feet, it's easy to feel lost and overwhelmed. But amidst the turmoil, there's a beacon of strength, a path to a brighter tomorrow. This year, the 5F conference is back, bigger and better. Join us from Friday, October 4 to Sunday, October 6 for 3 days of transformative power. Experience inspiring sessions with renowned speakers like Reverend Tony Akinyemi, Reverend Hakeem Ogunira, Mr. Wale Abayomi, and Reverend Bayo Asolo. Don't miss out on this life-changing event. Register now at 5fconference.tsfchurch.com and be part of something extraordinary.
Welcome back. We are still on Exposé with Tony Akinyemi, and we are discussing your food and your health. And this is brought to you by the Shepherd's Flock International Church, otherwise known as TSF. Once again, permit me to welcome you to join us any Sunday, 9 a.m. Nigerian time, or join with us on our YouTube channel. You can also go to our website, tsfchurch.com, and there you can find our church locator to give you the addresses of our parishes around Nigeria, the United Kingdom, and Sweden. All right, so before we went on that short break, I was talking about the omega-3 oil that we find in flaxseed. And I said that omega-3 oil in flaxseed has anti-angiogenic properties. Now, what is anti-angiogenic properties? First of all, what is angiogenesis? Now, angiogenesis is the term to describe the behavior of certain, tissues or glands, or particularly tumors in the body, the behavior of tumors growing new blood vessels. So when new blood vessels develop in the body, that process is called angiogenesis, the growth or the development of new blood vessels. Now, so new blood vessels can form, around the body. The body has a way of repairing and fixing things up. So angiogenesis is a normal, regular process that takes place in the body. New blood vessels developing, growing, to solve problems in the body. But then when tumors grow in the body, whether they are benign tumors like fibroids, or they are malignant tumors like cancer, solid cancers, these tumors have a tendency to grow new blood vessels in different directions. They just grow new blood vessels in different directions. And those blood vessels grown by these tumors is intended like the roots of a plant. When the plant is growing, the plant develops a root system, R-O-O-T, root, a root system. And the essence of the root system, first of all, is to entrench the plant solidly on the ground for stability, so that when the wind blows, the plant will not be easily uprooted. So the plant can be stable, firmly rooted on the ground. That is one of the purposes of the root system of a plant. The second, and perhaps the most important purpose, is that the root system is the tool that the plant has to suck nutrients from the ground. The plant takes nutrient from the ground. It takes water from the ground. It takes minerals from the ground. And those are the nutrients that the plant will use in its growth and development. All right? So tumors also develop this kind of root system, so to speak. They develop new blood vessels in different directions in the body of the host, so that the tumor can be sucking nutrients. So as the individual that has the tumor is eating food and digesting the food gets into the bloodstream, and it is the tumor that is sucking all the nutrients because it has so many roots or so many blood vessels that it has developed. It becomes highly vascularized. That's the term that medical people will use. Highly vascularized. A lot of blood vessels that it has developed in different directions. So it will be sucking the nutrients and sucking the nutrients. So you see the person is eating. The cancer patient that has this tumor is eating, but it's growing leaner and leaner and leaner every day because the tumor is greedy. The tumor is not allowing the host to access the nutrients. It's grabbing it and grabbing it. The tumor is growing bigger. The host, the person that has the tumor, is growing leaner, is shrinking, until it gets to the end stage, okay, where there is what they call cachexia, where the person becomes like a bag of bones, all right? And that person is almost a goner at that point. So one of the things that cancer tumors will do is to deprive their host of nutrients by growing new blood vessels to suck in the nutrients so that they can continue to fuel their rapid growth and rapid multiplication. Because cancer cells are cells that have lost the ability for apoptosis. Apoptosis is programmed cell death, where the cell reaches the end of its lifespan and it dies. Now, every cell in the human body is supposed to reach the end of its lifespan and die. Our red blood cells, for example, live for only 120 days. That's approximately 4 months. At the end of 4 months, all the red blood cells in my body today, 120 days from today, all of them will have died off. And my bone marrow will have churned out new red blood cells to replace the ones that are dying off. So on a daily basis, some red blood cells will die in my body today and my body will flush them out, okay? And then my bone marrow will produce new red blood cells, fresh red blood cells to replace them. So red blood cells live for 120 days, they die off. Liver cells live for 70 days and they die off. That's how the body recycles itself. That's why we never, wear out. We continue to, grow and develop and mature. We're able to live for 80 years, 90 years, 120 years through this recycling process. That's why the Bible says in Psalm 115, it says we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Fearfully and wonderfully made in the book of Psalms. All right. Now, so let me go back to what I was talking about, angiogenesis. Now, when a tumor continues to draw nutrients like that, now the cells in the tumor don't die because they have lost the capacity for apoptosis. programmed cell death. They don't die. So they just keep replicating, multiplying, splitting and dividing, and then they grow bigger and bigger, and the tumor keeps growing bigger. And before you know it, the tumor starts invading neighboring tissues in the body. Before you know it, some of the cells of the cancer tumor will break off and get dumped into the bloodstream and travel to another location. Maybe if somebody has like breast cancer or prostate cancer, part of the cell will enter into the bloodstream. It will travel and go into the liver and start growing there, or go into the lungs and start growing there. It may even go into the brain and start growing there. Okay, that is called metastasis. Metastasis. Cancer spread around the body. So cancer is an invader. Any territory where cancer gets into, it starts invading the whole territory. And the way it funds its rapid growth is to grow new blood vessels in different directions. And those blood vessels are now used to suck nutrients and suck nutrients and suck nutrients. So the process of growing new blood vessels is what we call angiogenesis. Now, the good news is that there are certain food items. We are talking about your food and your health. There are certain food items that God has given us in nature that when you consume them, now they have the potential, they have the capacity to stop that process of growing new blood vessels by tumors. So if a person has fibroid, for example, or has cancer in the body, and such a person begins to consume food items that can stop the growth of new blood vessels by these tumors, that kind of food is indirectly stopping the tumor from being able to grab a lot of nutrients from the body. So it is starving the tumor indirectly, and that can hinder the rapid growth of the tumor. So those food items that do not allow tumors to grow new blood vessels, they block the process of growing new blood vessels. Those are the food items we call anti-angiogenic foods. These are foods that are anti-angiogenesis. Let me speak North American English now. Anti-angiogenesis. In the UK, in Nigeria, in West Africa, we say anti, A-N-T-I, anti-angiogenesis. In other words, these food items will stop fibroid tumors or cancerous tumors from developing new blood vessels. So that way, the tumor can be made to remain stable. Now, it doesn't cure. It doesn't, cure the tumor directly, but it prevents the tumor from growing. So when the person is treating cancer, therefore, these foods that have anti-angiogenic properties should be included in the food that the cancer patients will be eating, so that at least it can halt the growth of the tumor. And then you can do some other things that can get rid of the tumor. So you see, dealing with tumors is a multi-pronged approach. There is not one item, whether it is seed or food or fruit or whatever, that can single-handedly cure cancer. It has to be a combination therapy of several modalities, several protocols, several therapies, several items, several remedies, each one doing one thing or the other. And we are saying that flax seeds contain properties, phytochemicals that can prevent tumors from growing new blood vessels. Isn't that wonderful? That's why those who have fibroid, those who have cancer, must include foods that are high in lignan. But is it only flaxseed that has anti-angiogenic properties? Not exactly. The good news is that there are many food items out there in nature that possess this same property we're talking about. Anti-angiogenesis. Foods that will not allow tumors to grow new blood vessels, thereby indirectly, starving the tumors and not allowing them to grow bigger and to invade the entire body or to metastasize, okay? There are certain other foods that can stop a tumor from spreading to other locations. Those are anti-metastatic foods, foods that do not allow cancer tumors in a local location, in a localized place, to spread to other locations. They prevent the spread of cancer around the body. They are called anti-metastatic foods. Okay? I'm speaking from the point of view of a nutritional consultant here. Okay? I am board certified by the American Association of Drugless Practitioners, AADP, as a holistic health practitioner. Now, drugless practitioners. So I cannot prescribe pharmaceutical drugs because I'm not a doctor and I'm not licensed to do that. I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not licensed to do that. But I'm a nutritionist. I can prescribe food, okay, that food items that possess the properties that you need. Now, so apart from flaxseed, what other food items possess anti-angiogenic properties? It will interest you to know that shark liver oil also possesses that same property. It contains a substance known as alkyl glycerol, which is the substance in shark liver oil that also possesses anti-angiogenic properties. All right? Similarly, shark cartilage also possesses that property. Okay? It can prevent tumors from growing new blood vessels. So that's why when I make my recommendations to support cancer patients that are undergoing cancer treatment, when I give them my own nutritional support, I also encourage them to eat foods that have anti-angiogenic properties. And flaxseed is one of them, and it's so readily available. And it's so easy to incorporate also into your diet. You mill it, you grind it, and then you can add it to your smoothie. Some people sprinkle the milled flaxseed to their salad. All right. Some people actually incorporate it into their, various pastries when they bake baked goods. When they bake cake or bake, cookies and bake some other things, they include ground flaxseed as part of the ingredients. Okay. Now, when you eat that regularly, flaxseed, you derive all the benefits that we've been talking about that you can find in flaxseed. Okay, now let me go over what we've learned about flaxseed today. It looks like we're not going to be able to go to the second seed. We will defer that till next week because I've been signaled that my time is up. Okay, so let me go over what we've learned about flaxseed. Flaxseed can help you to lower your total cholesterol and your LDL cholesterol in particular. Now, cholesterol in the body, when you go for medical checkup and they check your serum cholesterol, your blood cholesterol, they'll tell you your total cholesterol, your HDL cholesterol, your LDL cholesterol. Some of them will give you your VLDL cholesterol. All right, they'll tell you your triglyceride level. These are all different types of fats you find in your blood. Okay, now, HDL cholesterol is considered the good cholesterol. LDL cholesterol is considered the bad cholesterol. I've done a lot of teaching on that in some of my episodes in the past. You can go check them out. But the LDL cholesterol that is considered bad cholesterol, when it goes too high, your doctors are concerned. When you take flaxseed regularly, it has a way of helping you to reduce your LDL cholesterol and then your total cholesterol. It also helps to lower your blood triglyceride level and indirectly can also help in bringing down your blood pressure. All right. Of course, taking flaxseed alone is not what you need to bring down your blood pressure. I've done a series on how to bring down your blood pressure, but it's one of the tools that you need. We also said that flaxseed can help, to keep your platelets. The platelets are those constituents of your blood that allow your blood to clot. It's a clotting factor, all right? And when there are too many platelets in your blood, then the blood can clot easily. You can have blood clots very easily. If you don't want your blood to be sticky, then you take a lot of flaxseed or a lot of omega-3 oil because it prevents the platelets from sticking together and indirectly reduces your risk of a heart attack. Then we said the lignan metabolites that you find in flaxseed can also easily bind to the same receptors that estrogen binds to in the breast, in the ovaries, in the uterus, that's the womb. And so it competes with estrogen for receptor sites, thereby reducing indirectly the amount of estrogen present in those locations, thereby preventing estrogen from stimulating estrogen-stimulated breast cancer, ovarian cancer, or uterine fibroid for that matter. And we said also, flaxseed contains a lot of high fiber, and that helps your bowel movement. You go to toilet to poo-poo regularly without struggle. It helps your regular bowel movement. It's also rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which is good for several health conditions, good for the eyes, good for the skin, good for the heart, your cardiovascular system, good for your nerves, all right, the omega-3 fatty acid there. And then the omega-3 fatty acid in flaxseed, we say, also possess anti-angiogenic properties. Therefore, it is highly recommended, highly useful, highly beneficial for cancer patients and those dealing with different kinds of tumors, whether benign or malignant. So this is how far we are able to go today. Flaxseed, make it part of your menu, okay? And flaxseed will offer you the benefits that it can offer anyone who consumes it regularly. Thank you once again for spending your Monday evening with me, or any other time for that matter that you get to watch this. I hope it has been very useful, okay? We'll be back next week, same platform, same time, to talk about yet another seed. This time, that particular seed is a very controversial one, and I'll be shedding a lot of light so that we can clear the air about the controversy around that seed. I won't let the cat out of the bag now. Until then, join me same time, same platform next week. This is Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. What we need is not more medication, but more education. For the best prescription is knowledge. To be informed is to be transformed. To be uninformed is to be deformed. God bless you. Have a terrific week. I love you. Bye-bye.
In a world swelling with chaos, where the ground seems to shift beneath our feet, it's easy to feel lost and overwhelmed. But amidst the turmoil, there's a beacon of strength, a path to a brighter tomorrow. This year, the 5F Conference is back, bigger and better. Join us from Friday, October 4 to Sunday, October 6 for 3 days of transformative power. Experience inspiring sessions with renowned speakers like Reverend Tony Akinyemi, Reverend Hakeem Ogunira, Mr. Wale Abayomi, and Reverend Bayo Asolo. Don't miss out on this life-changing event. Register now at 5fconference.tsfchurch.com and be part of something extraordinary.